What's on, everybody? Welcome to another TR7 tutorial. Today we're going to be learning frontside kickturns. Frontside kick turns. Much like the backside kick turn that we did a couple of weeks ago, but this one is just that little bit harder. People seem to struggle with it a little bit more, so it's kind of like the backside kick turn's evil twin. Let's hope this video helps you learn. So I guess we'll just get right into it, shall we? A frontside kick turn is going up the ramp, doing a full frontside 180 round, and going back down the ramp. Now it might seem a bit weird that you're turning behind yourself on a frontside turn, but it's called frontside because the ramp is in front of you, the coping. There's only a couple of things you'll need in order to do this frontside kick turn, and that's be able to give yourself a little pump so you can get a bit of speed on the ramp, and then turning frontside on the flat is definitely going to help, because then you're going to be able to turn the way we're going to be turning. The best thing you can do to keep your speed up whilst you're doing it on the ramp is go straight up, turn round and come straight back down, because that's the easiest way for us to keep our speed. But it can be a bit hard to learn them this way because of doing that full 180 on the ramp and it being a bit hard to pull around frontside when you're first doing them. So if you're struggling with this, the best way to start when you're learning is to give yourself a nice bit of angle on the ramp so that when you come up, you haven't got as far to turn to then get down, straight down the ramp. And it's the easiest way of starting off with this frontside kick turn. Depending on how big your ramp is, I'd say the best thing to do is start at the corner, aim for around the middle of the ramp, as long as it isn't stupidly long. And you're gonna come up towards that middle and try get towards the other side. As far as you can turn is going to help. One thing a lot of people don't do when they're rolling up to this frontside turn is get themselves leaning onto their heels. And this is actually essential to start your turn off and then get you going in the right direction to turn around that board. Because if you get stuck on the toes, you're going to find it's going to keep trying to turn you backside when what you want to be doing is turning frontside. So try when you push in, sit back on those heels, get that weight right on them, and it's going to start off your frontside turn a lot better. Now we're going to talk about your shoulders and your timing of the lift, because these are the most important things to the trick really. As you're coming up the ramp, you're going to want to start pre-winding those shoulders so that you can throw them around, because this is what's going to create that momentum to push us around all the way. So this turn really comes down to these shoulders. As you're coming up the ramp, you're getting ready to throw them around, and then you're going with the momentum of the turn to pull it all the way around. So that's the timing of the shoulders. Now with the board, you want to be waiting until you reach that point right in between going up and coming down, because this is going to create the momentum coming down, so that'll help you just pull that board round all the way that it needs to go, and you'll be able to ride in a lot easier. If you try to do this one too early, much like the backside kick turn, it's going to probably slide from the back, and this is real easy and putting you off doing them again. If you leave it too late, you're going to end up going backwards and it's going to be really hard to do. So straight up, wait for that point just before you stop, and then pull it round with the momentum and into the ramp. If you follow these two timings, you should get this trick down. Another thing that's really important? But another thing that's really important, oh my God, I don't get it at all. Okay, take 3, important. So the shoulders and the timing, really important to getting this trick right. But the other thing that's really important is keeping your weight into the ramp. A lot of people tend to come round and then they lean forward and you end up pushing yourself onto the ramp, and you're never going to keep yourself on the board that way. You've got to keep that weight parallel with the board, parallel with the ramp, so you're leaning in towards the middle, and this is going to keep you on that board for the whole flow. Another really important thing is making sure you look where you're going. So as you come up and you're throwing these shoulders over, you're looking over this shoulder so you can see that ramp, you can see your landing, and it's only going to become more clear as those shoulders come round. One more thing as well is when you are doing this one, you don't want to properly lift that tail all the way up, because you're going to end up either hitting the tail on the ramp or just throwing yourself off control because you're really lifting it. You only really need to lift just off the top of the ramp with the front wheels to bring it around. It doesn't have to be a big old lift, because then you're going to end up throwing yourself a bit more off center. It's easier to just give it that little push around, and it's a lot easier to then push down to roll away. Now if you followed all those steps, hopefully you should be starting to get your frontside kick turns. Now the only stage left is to take that angle and slowly get rid of it. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to do this, because it's all just about the progress. You just got to slowly eliminate that angle more and more until eventually you're just doing them straight up and straight down, because this is the best way to keep your speed and keep on that form. You can then learn to angle them and carry them across the ramp, but that's a lot to do with then leaning into it a different way, whereas this nice quick straight up, straight down is the best way to keep your speed and get it nice and fast. So that's all for frontside kick turns. I hope this tutorial helped you to learn them. If it did, we'd love to hear some feedback, so whack a comment in the section below. If you think you've got a better way of learning, whack that comment in as well. We'd just like to hear it. If you like this video, don't forget to click subscribe, hit the little bell, and you'll always be notified when we put up new ones. That's all for this week. I hope we learned them. See you later.